Jake Morrison stood at the front window of his ship and watched the huge alien station grow bigger in front of him. His hands were steady, but his heart was beating fast. After 50 years of looking for other people in space, humans had finally found them. The problem was, these aliens did not seem happy to see them. The Terra Nova had been flying through space for 6 months when the alien ships appeared. They came out of nowhere like ghosts made of crystal and light. There were 12 of them surrounding Jake's ship now. Each one was 3 times bigger than the Terra Nova, and they moved in ways that should not be possible. Lisa Parker walked up to Jake and stood next to him. She was the person who was supposed to talk to the aliens if they ever found any. She had studied every language on Earth and knew how to make peace with different groups of people. But she had never tried to make peace with beings from another world. "Captain, we are getting a message from the big ship in the middle," said Tom Bradley from his seat at the control panel. Tom was young and smart, and he could make the ship's computers do almost anything. Right now his face was white with fear. "Put it on the main screen," Jake said. He tried to sound calm, but everyone on the bridge could hear the worry in his voice. The screen lit up and showed the inside of the alien ship. Everything was made of some kind of clear crystal that changed colors like a rainbow. Standing in the middle was a being that looked almost human, but not quite. It was tall and thin with skin that you could see through. Its eyes were large and dark, and they seemed to look right through Jake. "Humans of the ship Terra Nova," the alien said. Its voice was strange and musical, but somehow Jake could understand every word. "I am High Arbiter Zexthal of the Zelthani Empire. You have entered our space without permission." Jake stepped forward and tried to smile. "Greetings, High Arbiter. I am Captain Jake Morrison. We come in peace from the planet Earth. We have traveled far to meet you and learn about your people." The alien's skin changed from blue to red, and Jake had a bad feeling about what that meant. "Your small ship carries no weapons that we can see. Your technology is simple and weak. Are all humans as primitive as you?" Lisa moved next to Jake and spoke, in her most friendly voice. "We are explorers, not warriors. We brought gifts for you, art and music from our world. Stories and knowledge that we would like to share." "Gifts?" The alien made a sound that might have been laughter. "What could a species like yours possibly offer to us? We have ruled this part of space for 1,000 years. We have taken over hundreds of worlds and absorbed dozens of different peoples. Your little planet is just another rock orbiting a common star." Dr. Amanda Foster was watching everything from the back of the bridge. She was the ship's doctor and scientist. She studied the alien's movements and the way the crystal walls changed colors behind him. Something about their technology was bothering her, but she could not figure out what it was yet. "High Arbiter, we ask only for friendship," Jake said. "Humans are peaceful people. We explore space to learn and to meet others like ourselves. We mean no harm to you or your empire." The alien's skin turned a deep purple color. "Peaceful? That is good. It will make things easier for both of us. You will come aboard our ship for a meeting. Bring 2 of your people with you. We have much to discuss about your future." The connection ended and the screen went dark. Jake looked around the bridge at his crew. There were 20 people working at different stations, and they all looked scared. The Terra Nova was a good ship, but it was built for exploring, not for fighting. They had some basic shields and a few small weapons, but nothing that could hurt ships like these. "Captain, our engines are not working," Tom said from his station. "They did something to us. We cannot move or use our faster-than-light drive." Jake nodded. He had expected this. The aliens wanted to control the situation, and they were doing a good job of it. "Lisa, Amanda, you are coming with me to their ship? Everyone else stay here and keep trying to fix the engines." Lisa gathered her translation equipment and the gifts they had brought. There were paintings and photographs showing the beauty of Earth, musical recordings from every culture, books and scientific papers that showed the best of human knowledge. She hoped these things would help the aliens understand that humans were worth knowing. Amanda packed her medical scanner and a small device that could analyze alien technology. She had a feeling they were going to need all the information they could get about these Zelthani people. As they prepared to leave the Terra Nova, Jake looked back at his ship one more time. 300 people lived and worked here. They had families back on Earth who were waiting for them to come home. Jake had promised to bring them all back safely, but now he was not sure he could keep that promise. The alien ship sent over a small crystal vehicle that attached itself to the Terra Nova like a parasite. Jake, Lisa, and Amanda climbed inside and felt it pull away from their ship. Through the clear walls they could see the other alien ships moving into a tighter circle around the Terra Nova. "Remember," Jake said quietly, "we are here to make peace. No matter what they say or do, we stick to our mission. We represent all of humanity now." The crystal vehicle carried Jake, Lisa, and Amanda through space toward the massive alien ship. As they got closer, the ship seemed to grow even bigger until it filled their entire view. The surface was covered in patterns that moved and changed like living things. Strange lights pulsed through the crystal walls in colors that had no names. When they entered the alien ship, Jake felt like he was walking into a dream. The hallways were made of the same clear crystal as everything else, but they seemed to bend and twist in impossible ways. Sometimes Jake could see through the floor to rooms below them. Other times the walls showed views of space that could not be real. "Stay close together," Jake whispered to Lisa and Amanda. "Do not touch anything unless they tell us to." The alien who met them was different from the one they had seen on the screen. This one was shorter and its skin was a pale green color. It moved in a way that reminded Jake of a snake, smooth and flowing. It did not speak, but gestured for them to follow. They walked through corridors that seemed to go on forever. Amanda tried to count the turns they made, but gave up when she realized they had somehow walked in a circle without turning around. The alien technology was playing tricks with space itself. Finally, they came to a huge, round room with a ceiling so high Jake could not see the top. In the center stood High Arbiter Zexthal, the same alien they had spoken to before. He was even taller than he had looked on the screen, at least 8 feet high. His skin was now a deep blue color with silver patterns that moved across it like water. "Welcome to my ship, humans," Zexthal said. His voice filled the room even though he did not seem to be speaking loudly. "I trust you are impressed by what you see here." Lisa stepped forward and bowed slightly. "Your technology is amazing. High Arbiter, we have never seen anything like it." "Of course you have not," Zexthal replied. "Your species is very young. You have barely learned to leave your own planet. We have been traveling between the stars for thousands of years." Jake looked around the room and saw other aliens watching them from the walls. Some were like Zexthal, but others were completely different. One looked like a giant insect made of metal. Another was just a ball of light that floated in the air. Jake realized these must be members of other species that the Zelthani had conquered. "Hi, Arbiter, we brought gifts for you," Lisa said. She opened her bag and took out a small painting of a sunrise over mountains. "This shows the beauty of our world. We also have music and stories that we would like to share." Zexthal looked at the painting for a moment and then waved his hand. The painting turned to dust and blew away. "Your art is primitive. Your music is noise. Your stories are the fantasies of children. We have seen the culture of 1,000 worlds, and yours is among the weakest." Amanda felt angry, but she kept her face calm. She had spent years studying human culture, and she knew it was beautiful and complex. But she also knew that getting angry would not help them now. "What do you want from us?" Jake asked. Zexthal's skin changed to a bright red color. Finally, a direct question. "I will give you a direct answer. Your species will surrender to the Zelthani Empire. You will give us control of all your worlds and all your people. In return, we will allow you to continue living." "That is not acceptable," Jake said. "Humans are free people. We will not be slaves." "Slaves?" Zexthal laughed, and the sound was like breaking glass. "You misunderstand your situation. You are not important enough to be slaves. You will be workers. 1 billion of your people will come to our worlds to build things for us. The rest will stay on your planets and grow food for the Empire. Lisa's hands were shaking, but she kept her voice steady. What if we refuse? Then your species will end, Zexthel said simply. We have done this many times before. Some species choose to serve and live, others choose to resist and die. It makes no difference to us. Amanda was watching the other aliens in the room. She noticed that some of them looked sad or frightened. The giant insect creature seemed to be trying to communicate with her, but she could not understand what it was trying to say. You have 72 hours to return to your world and begin the surrender process, Zexthel continued. We will follow your ship to make sure you do not try to run away. If you do not begin sending us workers within 1 week, we will destroy your planet and find another world to take its place. Jake felt cold all over. He had expected the aliens to be advanced, but he had not expected them to be so cruel. Hi, Arbiter. Surely we can find another way. Humans have knowledge and skills that might be useful to you. You have nothing we need, Zexthel replied. Your technology is centuries behind ours. Your science is basic. Your weapons are toys. The only thing you have that we want is your bodies for work. The meeting was over. The same snake-like alien led them back through the twisting corridors to their crystal vehicle. As they traveled back to the Terra Nova, none of them spoke. They were all thinking about what they had just heard when they reached their ship. Jake called all the senior officers to the main meeting room. He told them everything that had happened on the alien ship. The room was quiet for a long time after he finished talking. So what do we do now? Asked Tom Bradley. Jake looked around the room at his crew. These people had trusted him to lead them safely through space. Now he had to find a way to save not just them but all of humanity. We go back to Earth, Jake said finally, and we tell our people what is coming. Back on the Terra Nova, Jake called an emergency meeting in the main conference room. All the senior officers came quickly, their faces showing worry and fear. The room was small and crowded with 12 people sitting around a metal table. The walls were covered with star charts and pictures of Earth that now seemed very far away. We have a big problem, Jake began. The aliens want us to surrender all of humanity. They want 1 billion people to work as slaves in their empire. If we refuse, they will destroy Earth and everyone on it. Lisa sat quietly at the table, still thinking about what she had seen on the alien ship. Captain, I do not think they are lying about their power. Their technology is far beyond anything we have. They could probably destroy our entire planet with one of their ships. Dr. Amanda Foster was writing notes on her tablet. She had been thinking about the alien technology since they returned from the meeting. There is something strange about their ships, she said. The way they move and the way their crystals work. I think they are using some kind of space bending technology, but it might have weaknesses. Tom Bradley looked confused. What kind of weaknesses? Their ships are huge and they can do things our ships cannot do. I am not sure yet, Amanda replied. But when I was on their ship, I noticed that all their technology seemed connected somehow, like it was all powered by the same source. If that source could be cut off, maybe their ships would stop working. Jake nodded, but his face was still grim. Even if that is true, we only have 72 hours to get back to Earth. How can we possibly prepare for a war against an empire that has conquered 1,000 worlds? What the crew did not know was that Jake was not telling them everything. The Terra Nova was not just an exploration ship. It was also a spy ship. Jake was not just a captain. He was Admiral Jake Morrison of the Terran Strategic Intelligence Division. For the past 6 months, his real mission had been to find alien civilizations and learn about them. In his private cabin, Jake opened a hidden panel behind his desk. Inside was a special communication device that could send messages faster than light. He typed a coded message that would reach Earth in just a few hours. The message was simple, but it would change everything. Contact confirmed. Hostile empire. Population 1,000 billion. Technology superior. Invasion imminent. Activate Protocol 7 immediately. Morrison. On Earth, General Patricia Hayes was sitting in her office deep underground. The office was part of a secret military base that officially did not exist. When Jake's message arrived, she read it 3 times before she believed it. Then she pressed a red button on her desk. All across human space, things began to happen. On planets that looked like peaceful farming worlds, hidden doors opened in the ground. Military bases that had been built in secret over the past 50 years came to life. Soldiers who had been pretending to be farmers and teachers and shopkeepers put on uniforms and reported for duty. The fortress worlds were the biggest secret. These were planets that looked normal from space but were actually giant military bases. Each one had enough weapons to destroy a fleet of ships. Each one had been waiting for this day for decades. Back on the Terra Nova, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Mitchell was also keeping secrets. He was supposed to be the ship's navigation officer, but he was really a military intelligence agent. While the others were talking about the aliens, he was sending his own secret messages to hidden receivers throughout the ship. "Sir, we are getting some strange readings from our sensors," Tom Bradley said suddenly. "It looks like there are more ships out there than we thought." Jake looked at the main screen. The sensors were showing dozens of small objects moving toward their position. But these were not alien ships. These were human ships that had been hiding in the asteroid belt around the star. They were scout ships and spy drones that had been watching everything. "Those are not alien ships," Jake said carefully. "Those are ours." The crew looked surprised. Lisa stood up from her chair. "Ours? Captain, what are you not telling us?" Jake knew he could not keep the secret any longer. "The Terra Nova is not just an exploration ship. We are also a military intelligence vessel. Our mission was to find aliens and learn about them." "Now we have found them and they are hostile." Amanda looked angry. "You lied to us. We thought we were explorers, not spies." "I am sorry," Jake said, "but it was necessary. If the aliens had known our real purpose, they would have killed us immediately. Now we have information that could save humanity." Tom was working at his computer station. "Captain, I am picking up transmissions from Earth. It looks like military bases all over human space are coming online. There are thousands of ships moving into position." Jake felt a little bit of hope for the first time since the meeting with the aliens. "Good. Protocol 7 is working. Humanity is not as helpless as the aliens think we are." Lisa was still angry, but she was also curious. "What is Protocol 7? "It is the plan we made in case we ever met hostile aliens," Jake explained. "For the past 100 years, humans have been preparing for this possibility. We built secret military bases, we developed new weapons, we trained soldiers. The aliens think they are attacking a peaceful species, but they are wrong." Amanda was looking at her tablet again. "Captain, I have been studying the data from the alien ship. I think I know how their technology works. They are pulling energy from their homeworld through some kind of space tunnel. If we could disrupt that tunnel, their ships would lose power." "Can we do that?" Jake asked. "Maybe," Amanda said. "But we would need to get close to their main ship, and we would need weapons that can affect their dimensional technology." Jake smiled for the first time in hours. "Do not worry about the weapons. Humanity has been preparing for this day for a long time. We have things the aliens have never seen before." The Terra Nova continued flying toward Earth, followed by the alien ships. But now Jake knew they were not flying toward humanity's surrender. They were flying toward the biggest surprise in galactic history. The aliens thought they were herding a helpless prey back to its den. They had no idea they were walking into a trap that had been 100 years in the making. The Terra Nova flew through space toward Earth with 12 alien ships following close behind. The Zelthani thought they were escorting a helpless human vessel back to surrender, but they had no idea what was really happening. Every few hours, Jake sent coded messages to Earth using his hidden communication system. Dr. Amanda Foster worked day and night in her laboratory, studying the data she had collected from the alien ship. She had discovered something important about how the Zelthani technology worked. Their ships were not just flying through space normally. They were actually bending space around them, creating shortcuts through dimensions that humans did not even know existed. "Look at this," Amanda said to Jake and Lisa as they stood around her computer. The aliens are pulling energy from their home world through these space tunnels. It is like they have a power cord that stretches across the galaxy. If we could cut that cord, their ships would lose power. Lisa looked at the strange patterns on the screen. How do we cut something we cannot see? We need to create interference in the same dimensional space they are using, Amanda explained. Like jamming a radio signal, but much more complicated. The problem is that our technology is not advanced enough to do this. Jake smiled. Actually, it is. You just do not know about it yet. While they were talking, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Mitchell was working in secret in another part of the ship. He had opened hidden panels in the walls and was installing new equipment. The Terra Nova was slowly changing from an exploration ship into something much more dangerous. "Sir, what are you doing?" asked Tom Bradley. He had found Ryan working in the engine room with devices that Tom had never seen before. "Making some improvements," Ryan replied. "The Terra Nova has always been more than just an exploration ship. We just kept the good parts hidden." Tom watched as Ryan connected the new equipment to the ship's main power system. "Are those weapons?" "Better than weapons," Ryan said. "These are quantum disruptors. They can interfere with the kind of dimensional technology the aliens use. Dr. Foster's research showed us exactly how to calibrate them." On Earth, General Patricia Hayes was coordinating the largest military operation in human history. Hidden bases all over the solar system were coming online. The moon, which looked like a peaceful research station, was actually a giant weapons platform. Mars, which appeared to be a small farming colony, was home to the largest military fleet humanity had ever built. Status report, General Hayes said to her staff. "All fortress worlds are ready," reported Colonel Steve Turner. "The hidden fleets are moving into position. Project Aegis is fully operational." "What about the new weapons?" Hayes asked. "The quantum disruptors are ready for deployment," said Dr. Nancy Price, the chief scientist. "We have been working on them for 30 years based on theoretical alien technology. Now that we have real data from the Terra Nova, we can fine-tune them perfectly." The aliens flying behind the Terra Nova had no idea what they were flying into. High Arbiter Zexthel was confident that humanity would surrender without a fight. In his long life, he had conquered dozens of species, and they had all given up when they saw the power of the Zelfani Empire. "Sir, we are detecting some unusual energy readings from the human ship," reported one of his officers. Zexthel looked at the readings with mild interest. "Probably just their primitive engines struggling to maintain speed. These humans are pathetic. Their technology is barely capable of space travel. Should we investigate further?" the officer asked. "No need," Zexthel replied. "Even if they had weapons, what could they possibly do to us? We have conquered civilizations far more advanced than these humans." But the Terra Nova was not struggling, it was preparing. Hidden all through the ship were systems that had been installed during construction but never activated. The ship looked like a simple exploration vessel from the outside, but inside it was becoming something the aliens had never seen before. Amanda made another important discovery while studying the alien transmissions. "Jake, I think I know where their homeworld is. The energy signatures are coming from a specific direction. If we could trace the signal back to its source, we might be able to disrupt their power at the source." "How far away is it?" Jake asked. "About 50 light years," Amanda replied. "But distance does not matter if they are using dimensional shortcuts. The energy travels through folded space, so it arrives almost instantly." Jake nodded. "That information will be very useful. Keep working on ways to disrupt their connection." As they got closer to Earth, more human ships began to appear. They looked like civilian vessels, cargo ships, passenger transports, scientific research ships. But like the Terra Nova, they were not what they seemed. Each one was hiding advanced military technology. Tom Bradley was amazed as he watched the sensors. "Captain, there are hundreds of ships out there. Where did they all come from?" "They have always been there," Jake replied. "Humanity has been preparing for this day for a very long time. We knew that someday we would meet other intelligent species, and we knew that some of them might be hostile." The alien ships were starting to notice the increased activity around. Earth, more and more human vessels were appearing on their scanners, but the Zelthani still thought they were just seeing civilian ships fleeing in panic. "Look at them run," laughed one of the alien officers. "They are so afraid of us that they are abandoning their own planet." High Arbiter Zexel was pleased. "Good, fear makes surrender easier. Soon their leaders will contact us and offer to give us whatever we want." But the human ships were not running away. They were moving into carefully planned positions around the solar system. Each ship was part of a massive defensive network that had been designed over decades of careful planning on the hidden command station built inside the asteroid belt. Admiral Kate Johnson was watching the alien ships approach. She had been waiting for this moment her entire career. The Terran Defense Force had trained for this scenario countless times. "All ships report ready," she said into her communicator. "The aliens are about to get the surprise of their lives." The Terra Nova was now just a few hours away from Earth. Jake could see his home planet growing larger on the screen. It looked peaceful and blue and beautiful, just like it always had. But he knew that appearances could be deceiving. "Amanda, how much longer do you need to finish your analysis?" he asked. "Just a few more hours," she replied. "I think I have found a way to disrupt their dimensional technology completely. But we will need to get very close to their main ship." "Do not worry about that," Jake said. "We will get as close as we need to." The trap was almost ready. The aliens thought they were about to conquer a helpless planet. Instead, they were about to discover that humans were far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. The moment the Zelthani fleet reached Earth's solar system, everything changed. What had looked like empty space suddenly filled with human ships. Hundreds of vessels that had been hiding behind asteroids and moons powered up their engines and revealed themselves. The aliens found themselves surrounded by a massive military force. High Arbiter Zexthal stood on his command bridge watching his sensors with growing confusion. "Where did all these ships come from?" he demanded. "Sir, they were hidden from our scans," his officer replied nervously. "Their stealth technology is more advanced than we thought possible." Zexel's skin changed from blue to orange, a sign of anger among his people. "Impossible. These humans are primitives. They cannot have technology superior to ours." But the evidence was right in front of him. The human ships were not the simple vessels he expected. They were sleek and powerful, with weapons that his scanners could not identify. Even worse, they were moving in perfect coordination like they had been planning this moment for years. On the Terra Nova, Jake Morrison finally revealed his true identity to his crew. The peaceful exploration ship began to transform as hidden panels opened all along its hull. Weapon systems that had been concealed inside the ship's structure emerged and powered up. "Crew of the Terra Nova," Jake announced over the ship's communication system. "I am Admiral Jake Morrison of the Terran Strategic Intelligence Division. For the past 6 months, we have been gathering information about potential alien threats. Now that information will help save humanity." Lisa Parker stared at the captain she thought she knew. "You have been lying to us this whole time?" "I am sorry," Jake replied. "But it was necessary. If the aliens had suspected our real mission, they would have killed us all. Now they think they are attacking a helpless species, but they are about to learn the truth about humanity." Dr. Amanda Foster was working frantically at her computer station. "Jake, I have found their weakness. The aliens get all their power from their homeworld through dimensional tunnels. I can create a quantum interference pattern that will cut those tunnels." "How long do you need?" Jake asked. "Give me 10 minutes," Amanda said. "But I need to be close to their main ship, very close." Tom Bradley was watching the sensors as more and more human ships appeared around them. "Admiral, there are thousands of ships out there. How long has humanity been preparing for this?" "Over 100 years," Jake replied. "Ever since we first started exploring space, we knew we might meet hostile aliens. We prepared for this day while hoping it would never come." The Zelthani fleet tried to maintain their formation, but they were confused and frightened. They had never encountered a species that could hide so many ships so effectively. Their own technology, which seemed so advanced, was not detecting the human weapons until it was too late. On the hidden command station, Admiral Kate Johnson gave the order that humanity had been waiting for. All ships, activate quantum disruptors. Target the alien vessels and prepare to fire. The space around Earth lit up with energy beams unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The quantum disruptors hit the Zalthani ships and something impossible happened. The crystal hulls that had seemed so strong began to crack and fade. The dimensional technology that powered their ships started to fail. What is happening to our ships? Zextel screamed at his officers. Sir, our dimensional drives are being disrupted. We are losing power from the homeworld. The energy tunnels are collapsing. For the first time in 1,000 years of conquest, Zextel felt fear. His mighty fleet was becoming helpless in space. The humans had somehow found a way to cut off their power source. The Terra Nova flew directly toward the alien flagship. Jake knew this was the most dangerous part of the plan, but it was also the most important. Amanda needed to get close enough to the main alien ship to plant a special device that would permanently destroy their connection to their homeworld. All weapons, target the flagship, Jake ordered. Give Amanda the time she needs. The Terra Nova fired its hidden weapons at the alien command ship. These were not normal human weapons. They were reality anchors and dimensional scramblers that had been designed specifically to fight aliens like the Zalthani. The alien ship's defenses, which had never failed before, began to weaken under the strange attack. Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Mitchell revealed his own secret identity as he took control of the ship's tactical systems. Sir, this is Colonel Mitchell of Terran Special Forces. I am taking command of weapon systems. The crew watched in amazement as their peaceful exploration ship became a deadly warship. Systems they had never seen before came online. Weapons they had never imagined emerged from hidden compartments. The Terra Nova had always been a military vessel disguised as a civilian ship. Amanda finished her calculations and loaded her quantum interference device. I am ready. Get me within 1,000 meters of their flagship. Jake piloted the Terra Nova through the battle, dodging alien weapons that were becoming weaker by the minute. The Zalthani ships were losing power and their movements were becoming slow and clumsy. Without their dimensional technology, they were just ordinary spacecraft. Amanda, you have 30 seconds, Jake called out as they approached the alien flagship. Dr. Foster launched her device toward the enemy ship. It was a small probe that contained all of her research about Zalthani technology. When it attached itself to the alien hull, it would send out a quantum pulse that would permanently sever their connection to their homeworld. The device hit the alien ship and activated. Across the entire Zalthani fleet, the lights went out. Their crystal hulls became dull and gray. Their weapons stopped firing. For the first time in their history, the mighty Zalthani Empire was defenseless. High Arbiter Zextel stared at his dead control panels in shock. How is this possible? How did these primitives defeat us? His communications officer managed to get one system working. Sir, we are receiving a message from the human flagship. Jake Morrison's face appeared on the alien view screen. But now he was wearing a military uniform instead of his explorer's clothes. High Arbiter Zextel, this is Admiral Morrison of the Terran Federation. Your fleet is disabled and your ships are defenseless. I am offering you the same choice you offered us. Surrender and live or resist and die. The tables had completely turned. The hunters had become the hunted. The Zalthani Empire, which had conquered 1,000 worlds, was now at the mercy of the species they had dismissed as primitive. High Arbiter Zextel sat in his command chair staring at the dark screens around him. His mighty flagship was floating helplessly in space like a dead rock. All across his fleet, the same thing was happening. Ships that had conquered 1,000 worlds were now powerless and vulnerable. Sir, what are your orders? Asked his communications officer. It was the only system still working on the entire ship. Zextel's skin had turned a pale gray color that showed fear and defeat. For the first time in his long life, he did not know what to do. The Zalthani Empire had never faced an enemy like humanity before. On the Terra Nova, Admiral Jake Morrison stood on his bridge watching the disabled alien fleet. His crew was celebrating their victory, but Jake knew the real work was just beginning. Winning the battle was only the first step. "Admiral, we are receiving surrender signals from 17 alien ships," reported Tom Bradley. "The others are not responding, but their weapons are offline." Jake nodded. "Colonel Mitchell, take a team and board the flagship. I want to speak with their leader face to face." Lisa Parker looked confused. "Jake, why are you not just destroying them? They came here to enslave us." "Because we are not like them," Jake replied. "We came in peace and we still believe in peace, but now they know we are strong enough to defend ourselves." Dr. Amanda Foster was studying her computer readings with excitement. "Admiral, my quantum disruptor worked perfectly. I have completely severed their connection to their home world. Even if they repair their ships, they will never get their dimensional technology back." "Good work, Doctor," Jake said. "Your discovery just changed the balance of power in this part of the galaxy." Colonel Ryan Mitchell led a boarding party to the alien flagship. When they arrived, they found the Zalthani crew sitting quietly in their crystal corridors. Without their technology, the aliens looked much less impressive. They seemed smaller and more fragile than before. "Take me to your leader," Ryan said to the first alien he met. High Arbiter Zexthal was waiting in his command center. When he saw the human soldiers, his skin turned even more gray. "I am Zexthal. I suppose you have come to kill me." "No," Ryan replied. "Admiral Morrison wants to talk to you. If you cooperate, you and your crew will be treated fairly." Zexthal was brought aboard the Terra Nova under guard. When he saw Jake in his military uniform, he understood that he had been completely fooled. "You are not an explorer at all. You are a military commander." "I am both," Jake said. "Humans believe in learning about the universe, but we also believe in protecting ourselves. You forced us to show you our strength." "How did you know we were coming?" Zexthal asked. "How did you prepare so quickly?" Jake smiled. "We did not know you specifically were coming, but we knew that someday we would meet aliens who were hostile. We have been preparing for over 100 years." Zexthal could not believe what he was hearing. "You prepared for a war that might never happen?" "Humans have a saying," Jake replied. "Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst." "We hope to meet peaceful aliens, but we prepared to meet ones like you." Over the next few days, more alien ships surrendered. The Zalthani Empire had over 50 vessels in the invasion fleet, and all of them were now under human control. The crews were treated as prisoners of war, but they were given food and medical care. Admiral Kate Johnson arrived from the command station to help coordinate the aftermath. "Admiral Morrison, what do we do with all these aliens?" "We cannot keep them as prisoners forever. We give them a choice," Jake said. "They can return to their empire and tell them what happened here, or they can stay and help us free the species they enslaved." Dr. Foster had been interviewing some of the alien prisoners. She learned that the Zalthani Empire controlled hundreds of worlds and dozens of species. Many of those species had been forced to serve the Empire just like the humans were supposed to. "Jake, some of these aliens are not Zalthani," Amanda reported. "They are members of other species that were conquered. They might be willing to help us if we free them." Jake thought about this carefully. "Bring some of them to me. Let us see if we can turn enemies into allies." The first non-Zalthani alien he met was called Crix. It looked like the giant insect creature Amanda had seen on the alien ship. Crix had been forced to serve the Zalthani for 20 years after his world was conquered. "Human Admiral," Crix said through a translator, "my people have waited long for someone strong enough to challenge the Empire. If you will help free our worlds, we will fight beside you." Jake was pleased. "We did not come looking for war, but we will not allow the strong to prey on the weak. If you help us, we will help you." Within a week, more human ships arrived to escort the alien prisoners. But instead of being sent to prison camps, many of them were given a chance to join a new alliance. Species that had been enemies were now working together against the Zalthani Empire. High Arbiter Zexthal was returned to his homeworld with a message from humanity. The Terran Federation would no longer tolerate the enslavement of other species. Any Zelthani ships that attacked peaceful worlds would be destroyed. The Empire could choose to change its ways or face the consequences. The Terra Nova resumed its original mission as an exploration ship, but now it carried a different message to the stars. Humanity had proven that they could defend themselves. And others. They had shown that sometimes peace required strength. Jake stood on his bridge looking out at the stars. Lisa, what do you think will happen next? Lisa smiled. I think the galaxy is about to become a much more interesting place. Other species will hear about what happened here. They will know that someone is finally strong enough to stand up to bullies like the Zelthani. Amanda was already working on new projects. Admiral, I am developing better quantum disruptors. If the Zelthani try to attack again, we will be ready for them. Tom Bradley was monitoring communications from across human space. Sir, we are getting messages from other alien species. They want to know if the stories about humanity are true. They want to meet us. Jake nodded. Send them our standard first contact message. We come in peace, but we are prepared for war. The choice of which face they see is up to them. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Humanity was a young species, but they were not weak. They had mastered the most difficult skill of all, appearing peaceful while being ready for battle. The universe would never underestimate them again.